Good morning. It is the morning here. Let's have a sit down. To my audience of several watchers, who probably don't even know why I'm uploading this, because, my YouTube account has 3,000 videos, I think, actually, if you include the shorts, and about one subscriber per video on average. So people may have subscribed because they saw a cat getting fondled in the trees, or I don't know, a nice view of the Great Wall might have inspired them to subscribe. Maybe the cycling vlogs, but probably not. And these things probably aren't of interest to most people. But stay tuned, because what I'm going to tell you now, it's not a positive, it is a negative. But again, if you absorb the realities of the world, irrespective of if they're good, then it builds your character, and you can laugh, which isn't an appropriate term for this story, many of these things off. Now, I just woke up to, I don't integrate with mainstream society at all anymore. I integrate with people that have brains. That sounds very arrogant. Yes, it is, because it's deserving of that, to switch your life towards the truth. Whilst most people fucking fondle themselves with Starbucks coffees and unhealthy, toxin-based food products each and every day, and then drink themselves to death each and every night, whilst claiming to be doctors and brokers and architects and whatever, qualified individuals with intellectual abilities that exceed that of the average man, because they have a piece of paper on their wall which says they graduated from Durham, or they graduated from Harvard, or they graduated from Heidelberg. Let's get straight to it. Netherlands is a disgusting country. Convicted child rapist in the 2012 British Olympic Games, the Dutch national Steven van der, and I don't even know what the last part of his name is, homosexual, of course, because that's why he's allowed to continue being an Olympian in 2024's Parisian Olympics, and he is a convicted child rapist of a 12-year-old boy. That's right. He was 19 at the time. This isn't a case of an accident happening in a club or a bar with a 12-year-old that just happens to look 17. He was 19, maybe he looked younger. None of that. He actually groomed the 12-year-old on the internet, raped them, was convicted, only got 4 years because it's the Netherlands. You can rape and kill and pillage as much as you want in the Netherlands, and you get no time at all, and then they claim that they're closing prisons because it's a safer environment. No, it's because they just let the criminals out. He was given 4 years, only served 12 months for raping a 12-year-old little boy. Then he was allowed to adopt a 2-year-old, so him and his homosexual partner, because of course they're gay, that's why they're getting away with it, adopted a 2-year-old after one such partner was convicted of raping a child years before. A 12-year-old child was raped by this volleyball player. He only got 4 years, only served 12 months because it's the Netherlands. And then the Dutch authorities allowed him to adopt a 2-year-old boy, and now he's back on the Olympic team. And just to give you an idea of how despicably disgusting these characters are, now remember that when you see the Olympics, there are these connotations with it being, for the esteemed characters of this world who are prominent, athletes in their field, and they're the best driven individuals. It's not the truth at all. You should have learned that from the Tour de France and from the music industry and the film industry. It's not about talent. It's not about making your way to the top based off of graft in today's society. It's about who you know, it's about the sponsorships you get, and it's about how despicable you are as a human being. Paula Radcliffe is one such example, an absolute cretin, and her paraphrased response to this was, it would be a shame for him to lose out a second time after having essentially so much stress caused by the previous event. That it's actually worse than that. I'm going to get you the exact quote from Paula Radcliffe. I just woke up after being awake till like 3 a.m. I'm looking a little bit old and drawn. Do I have the exact quote? I fucking do. exact quote. I hope I have the exact quote. I did have the exact quote. It's just, for some reason, it's... 2 seconds, hold on, because it's worth it. I'm going F5. Right. This is insane. This is insane. Because they're all buddies, they're all friends, these people are psychopaths, and it's really sad, I know, because you look at the TV and you see people like Usain Bolt, or you see, you know, people like Jonathan Edwards, and you assume that they get there because of their, you know, positions as you know, prestigious athletes. It's not the case. It's not the case. It's not 1905. It's not 1855. It's not, you know, 1965. Even then, the system was corrupt. You should know this by the fact that entire countries have been removed from the Olympics. Russia, as an example. You know, politicizing sports has always been the case, and it's actually the purpose of sports in the first instance. You know, the promotion and construction of football stadiums en masse at the turn of the century is to create a place and a plinth to enforce a certain political narrative. Where better than a giant stadium filled with hundreds of thousands of people, back in the day, of course, before television and radio. And then, of course, once you have radio and television and you know, the stadium essentially becomes a country because everyone feels that they're a part of it when they watch a football game. It really is the prime location for social manipulation. So this is what she said in response to a convicted rapist. There are no excuses for this rape, not that there ever really are, but you can understand some rape cases in the US, for example, when a 16-year-old boy is having a relationship with a 15-year-old girl. They're literally schoolmates, but she's classed as a kid, and he is actually technically convicted as a sex offender. That's actually true in many states in the United States. That's fucking insane. That's obviously not rape. So yeah, but this is a prime example. This is a child rapist, a man who groomed on the internet a boy, raped a 12-year-old boy. It's also, I'm not sponsoring the idea that there's a difference, but like I said, you know, sometimes if someone's like 15, they may look 16. I don't know, something like that. Sometimes a 20-year-old may look 25. 12-year-old boy is never going to look like a 16-year-old. Ever. Or 17 or whatever the law is in the UK, 16. Never going to happen. This is what Paula Radcliffe said. I think it's a tough thing to do to punish him twice. And if he's managed to successfully turn his life around after being sent to prison and to qualify and to be playing sport at the highest level, then I actually wish him the best of luck. In-fucking-sane. This is the world we live in now. A little side note, by the way. Elon Musk's son is now a little girl. And people just you don't get it, do you? You know, these people are not real for a start. Elon Musk isn't real. He's a character. They're all characters. They don't sit at desks, you know, working out the physics of their next contraption. It's all a fucking scam. Wake up. And to get into those positions, you have to be a pedophile. And I've said this before so many times. People don't seem to grasp the reason why you have to be a pedophile. Because you have to be malleable. You have to be blackmailable, for lack of a better term, grammatically correct term. Pedophilia has always been seen, at least in this age, as the greatest sin of all, and that is the purpose why they absorb and adopt only pedophiles at the highest echelons in society, they being the cabals that unify essentially monopolistic values on this planet, fucking massive hedge funds run by fucking irresponsible banks that are, you know, essentially unheard of, because we're not talking about high street banks, we're talking about the people that control the central banking system throughout the world, and you don't know who these people are. They're not public figureheads. Public figureheads are like B-class actors in their realm. You know, they're just, and actually they are literally actors, of course, but you know, if you see them, they don't have any real true value in terms of the process of mechanization for this kind of systematic endeavor of destruction that we see everywhere. It's the hidden characters that control essentially the globalized system, and you know, they're very clever and they realize basic psychology. If you employ people that are driven by something that's antisocial and beyond that term, you know, it creates organically a social situation of unity and bonding, a glue that's pretty much stronger than any other form of social bind. If you place a load of pedophiles together in a world where it's seen as an obscenity, then naturally they're going to find the best mechanism by which to get the job done. And the job is, of course, to do whatever they're instructed to do, and the reward process is kids. So there we go.